America in the mid-50s was a place caught between two heartbeats, the one it wanted to believe in and the one it quietly feared was coming. Our boy was born right in the middle of that pause, 1955, small town, middle of the map. A place where folks still left their doors unlocked and kids rode rusted bikes to the corner store for cola and baseball cards. His dad had come home from Korea with a limp he pretended wasn't there and a silence he never talked about. His mother did her best to keep the house bright, radio on, curtains washed, supper on at 6, but she carried her own shadows. Most families did back then. They just didn't name them. He grew up in the glow of a black and white TV, watching astronauts and cowboys, the Beatles on Ed Sullivan, and a nation trying to outrun its own ghosts. By 63, he'd learned that heroes could be taken in broad daylight, and by 65, he'd learned that boys only a few years older than him were shipping out to a place called Vietnam. He wasn't a rebel by nature, just curious, sensitive, a kid who lingered on album sleeves and paperback novels, the kind who felt the world a little sharper than most. Music got its hooks in him early: steel string guitar, church hymns, dusty country stations drifting in from God knows where. By 16, he could fingerpick well enough to make the porch lights glow a little warmer. But the world was changing faster than small towns could keep up. Cities were boiling, protests rising, old rules cracking. His friends argued about long hair, civil rights, the draft lottery. And every night, the evening news brought Vietnam into the living room like a storm cloud gathering at the edge of the cornfields. He wasn't looking for destiny, but one spring afternoon in 1969, destiny found him anyway, in a white envelope with his name printed neat across the front. Some boys ran, some boys vanished. He tried to imagine doing either, but he saw the look in his father's eyes, that old wound, that old pride, and he knew he'd already made his choice. So he hugged his mom a little too tight, promised his dad he'd be back before the leaves turned. And on a warm summer morning, with protesters gathering 2 blocks over and the sun hitting everything gold, he boarded a Greyhound bus with a guitar case, a half-packed duffel, and a heart that didn't quite know which stories it had left to tell. This is where the Lost Tour begins.